Check.
I have to make you, oh, thank you for coming. I have to just point out this is being live streamed. So if you're not fond of this, you are welcome to see it online instead. My name is Anemone and I'm from Small Steps DTU, and we are very much into sustainability, just like Griinbi that we're visited by today. So, we know and we're very aware that education is part of the answer towards solving sustainability climate issues. And sometimes you sit in this group work and you think, oh, it would be so much easier if we were just like the same person, like clones, because we don't have all these discussions. But the discussions is what makes it interesting, is where you find the solutions. So Griinbi has actually gone all in on figuring out how do we make the most of our diversity in the group. They are from 4 different universities, different backgrounds culturally as well. And they have done a great work on this. So please help me welcome Griinbi.
Yes. Skal jeg stille mig her, eller sådan noget? Yeah. I don't know. Okay, yes. It went through. We come from Griinbi, which is a small startup company, and we are 4 current owners. And we're here today to talk a bit about team diversity and how this can help solve some great challenges. And then we will also talk a little bit about our company and what we do. Yeah.
Yes. And I will start out by telling a little bit about myself and who we are as a team, because as you've probably guessed, we are a team of very different both nationalities, but also cultures and backgrounds. So I am personally from CBS, and I have studied there for a bachelor, where I went on exchange to Madrid, where I met one of the other co-founders, Alfonso, who is unfortunately not here today, but he is Spanish. And I met him through his girlfriend, so she is kind of the connection point of the start of beginning of Griinbi. And Oscar will tell a little more to that story afterwards. Yes.
Yeah, so my name is Oscar. I also study here at DTU, where I study artificial intelligence and data science. And besides studying, I also have a huge passion for the environment, and I like to think about and innovate to how we can change to a more sustainable future. And the story which I'm going to tell you is about this mysterious third person, which is called Alfonso. I'm going to speak a little loud. Okay, maybe not. About a year ago, I was attending my sister's bachelor party, and I met this person named Alfonso, which happened to be the girlfriend of one of the people that my sister wrote her bachelor with, and we talked for multiple hours and about all different problems in the world and sustainability, and then a couple of days later he asked me if I wanted to meet one of his other friends, which was Oliver, and we sat down and we had a talk, and the next thing we know, we actually founded a company. But first, Oliver would like to talk about Alfonso, which unfortunately could not be here today.
Yes, exactly. The story about Alfonso and how we all met through his girlfriend, Anne-Katrine, and she's the connection point of Oscar, Alfonso, and me, and that led us to found Griinbi. And of course, because we are so different people, we have different backgrounds and different temperaments and so on, there are of course bound to be some problems, smaller problems in a team, and that can be easily dissolved, most of them, fortunately, and we've been lucky enough to not have that many bigger controversies or any bigger issues at all. But of course, like Alfonso, sometimes with his Spanish temperament, and sometimes, of course, our different personality traits. Like, for example, Oscar is very analytical, and I'm more to the soft skill side, very good at communication and seeing how people feel in a problem-solving situation and so on. And that can lead to some conflicts at times, but most of the time we've managed to get through, and we will come back to this a little bit more. And then there is the fourth member.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So my name is Kasper. I'm the newest addition to the Griinbi team. I joined in June, so that's about 5 months ago. I have a background in both music and technology. So I've studied music for, well, about 4 years in high school, and I took a semester at something called a folk high school to study music a second time. But I've always loved technology. I've been experimenting with servers, programming, all the good stuff ever since I was a little child. And I'm the server guy. I do web design, I do web development, kind of all around when it comes to our website. I'm the guy who fixes it when it breaks, and I'm also the guy to develop new additions to the page, new designs, implement all the cool stuff that we really want to have on the homepage.
Yes.
Yep, so now we're going to talk a little bit about how you can measure this diversity in a team and what does it mean to have a diverse team. So we've took, back when we were 3 people, Kasper, as I said, was recently joined, we took this test which is actually called a talent test. So it's kind of like a personality test where you can see a different kind of skill set you have. Some of these skills are defined as soft skills. Some of them are defined as what we call hard skills, where hard skills is often, the more analytical skills. The soft skills is more on the communication side. You're good at reading people, negotiating, maybe persuading, and so on. And if we move on to the next slide, here you can see in a chart, we plotted each of, in our team, how is our soft skill compared to our hard skills. And as you can see, there's a huge difference between us. So I have a lot of hard skills, which is, the more analytical. And I think a lot of you guys have that as well. Most people in DTU and in engineering have a set of these skills, where Oliver, he has more of these soft skills, good at communicating, understanding people. And then we have Alfonso, which is kind of a mix in between. So we are very different in the way we think, in the way we approach problems, and in the way that we solve problems, which, as Oliver said, can lead to a lot of different debates as to how we solve problems. But that's, of course, one thing. Then there is another huge benefit of having a diverse team, and that is when you tackle new situations or when you want to grow or solve problems, which Oliver will talk more about now.
Yes, exactly. Because what makes a perfect team? No one really knows before you get started. And that's also why one of our points today is, like, if you have ideas of working in a team, both with a startup, but also group work, that you might feel like we're not the best match or the optimal match, then sometimes you're really surprised. Like, when I first met Oscar, we could both feel that we were very different people, as you could also see on the previous slide here. But yet it has developed into not only a really professional and good partnership, but also a good friendship where we know that we will be working together closely for many years. So why is it good to have a diverse team? It is so important because you complement each other in the areas where myself, for example, might be lacking some skills. And then Oscar complements in those areas. And it can be anything from covering the different tasks, but also seeing things from a different angle. Because when you're in a startup, then there are so many contrasts and things that you need to have on, like different hats that you need to cover. And it can be difficult, but that's why it's good to complement each other. And it can be anything from doing accounting to marketing, communication, and partnerships, and anything. And all those things, some of them require hard skills, and some of them require softer skills. And that's why it's a good combination to work with people that are very much unlike you in many ways. Yes.
Yeah, and I think another point that's important to mention is that as long as you have like a common goal, you can work around, coring the different assignments that needs to be fulfilled in order to obtain that goal. And this is also something that's very important for any team where you need to solve something, if it's a school project or if it's something, more business-wise. So, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, this is now our team. So we began September last year. Oh, sorry, we didn't. Oscar, Alfonso, and Oliver started the company a year ago, right about now. And ever since then, we've had an exponential growth in the team size. We've grown from 3 founders to 8 people in total. So we have 4 owners of the company, and then we have 4 interns, all from different countries, different cultures. They all bring very different sets of skills that sometimes overlap. Oscar, for an example, excellent programmer. He can help me with problems that I'm not able to solve myself because he has more expertise in programming in general, whereas I'm more focused on like very specific programming languages that are used in servers and the website. But in addition to the 4 founders and me, we have Martha, who is from Spain. She's a graphic designer and specialist in branding. And then we have Susanna from Slovakia.
Yep.
Yeah, I always confuse Slovakia with Czechoslovakia. Content creator and social media manager. She does most of our social media work. Very skilled at that. Then we have Sebastian, search engine optimization, marketing, Google Ads. He's really good at all that. Really good with words. And of course, he doesn't just do search engine optimization. Whenever any one of us wants a really well-written text, we can always reach out to Sebastian and ask him, hey, can you do this for me? Because we know that Sebastian is really good at writing. He's really good with words. Lastly, we have Maria, who's been blogging. She's been making email marketing, social media as well, from Romania. And it's very interesting opportunity to get to work with such a diverse team, because not only do they bring a lot of different skill sets to the table, they're also just extremely interesting to be around, because in the lunch breaks you can share stories. How is it in your country? How is it in my country? And you get so much information about how the world is,
and learn to see problems in a different way as well, because what we might see as an easy and obvious solution might not be the obvious choice for any other country or nationality, and vice versa. Like they might have a really good approach to a problem where we're completely oblivious. And another benefit is, of course, travel advice from lots of different countries.
Yeah, so now we talked a bit about having a diverse team and how this can benefit, for example, a company, but also if you're doing a project. So now we want to talk a little bit about what we do in Griinbi and what our company is about. So what we try to do is we try to gather all sustainable products in one place to make it more easy and accessible for everyone to shop sustainably. And the way we do that is we work with the 12th SDG from the UN, which is about responsible consumption and production. And we go out and assess different companies. We look at, try to measure how sustainable they are, and if they are sustainable enough, we want to offer a partnership where we then can sell their products through our own platform. And in this way, we ensure that there is a responsible production, and we also ensure when we sell products that it's a responsible consumption. And a part of this SDG is also to go out and spread information about sustainability. And we do that through conducting interviews with our partners to show our customers, which steps do they actually take to become more sustainable, and so on. And we also write blog posts and try to inform a lot through social media. Yep.
Yes. And of course, we are working within the sustainability field, and that can be really difficult to measure, because what is sustainability? Everyone has a different opinion on what it is, and there's social sustainability, there's economic sustainability, and there's of course environmental sustainability, which is the one that we're working with and focusing on. So what we do to measure, we've set up 10 parameters that we feel like that is what sustainability means to us. And one of the main ones, I'm not going to list all of them, but I'm going to pick out a few. And one of the main ones is definitely where's the product manufactured or produced, because that means a lot in terms of if it's produced within Denmark, there are very high standards in terms of production, both social sustainability as well, but not least the environmental sustainability. And the European Union sets a high standard compared to countries such as, for example, in Asia. I don't want to point to a specific one, but I'm sure we can all think of one or two. And then we also focus on, does it replace a single-use item? Because that's something might not be 100% sustainable materials in itself. For example, we have a last swap, which is to clean your ears or for makeup removal. And that is made in durable and made from recycled materials still, durable silicone. And that's something that might not be viewed as sustainable ingredients or materials by everyone, but the fact that it goes in and replaces thousands and thousands of single-use items makes it much more sustainable, because those often end up in the ocean because they are thrown out as regular trash. And then we also, by our own standards, we choose sustainable packaging for all the packages that we deliver and everything that we can to ensure a full cycle sustainable journey.
Yeah, and also another thing that's important to add is we use these sustainability parameters as sort of a tool to pick out companies. So once we either contact a company or a company contacts us, we then go into a dialogue and we actually analyze their whole supply chain as well. So we look at, as Oliver also said, like where is it manufactured, which kind of materials is in it, and so on. So we actually can ensure that, okay, this product is sustainable enough to our standards.
We don't always just take their word for good words. So we actually go in and do our own analysis and look at the factors that Oscar mentioned. So we have had to decline many partners, and we've also thought that a partner could be a good fit. And then once we developed or dig into the research, then we found out that, okay, there are some measures that don't live up to our standards. So all in all, to make sure that the consumer can be sure that if they shop at our web shop, then it's all the way sustainable. Yes.
Yeah, so where is Griinbi today? Well, of course, a lot's happened in a year, and it's a massive effort to build up a company. I know that I had a very unreal expectation of what it was like to start a company. I thought it was just, hey, we go in and we sell some products. It's not. It's a lot of work, but fortunately, we have a very solid foundation. Today, we have a working platform at griinbi.com, a website that's easy to use for the user, that clearly communicates to the end user what product they're buying and how it is sustainable. They can find our sustainability parameters and learn more about us as a company and how we're sustainable. In the same time, we've achieved partnerships with over 30 companies. We provide a wide variety of products from over 30 partners, which especially Oliver's skill set has really helped to bring in. We have more than 1,000 SoMe followers, that's social media. And of course, the most important thing, happy customers all around Denmark. And hopefully our company can do just a little good for this planet, if not a whole lot.
Yes. And an example of this is actually a product that we brought, which is just over here. And that is something that we want to ask you a small question about. Does any of you have an idea of the percentages of water that are in cleaning products today? The ones you buy in a plastic bottle in any supermarket? No? Any ideas? No? Well, we can tell you that it's actually at least 95% is just pure water, which, of course, we and the founders of Nui, who were two sisters with a chemist background, they thought this is ridiculous because it takes a lot of plastic bottles that are really unnecessary when you can just have one bottle at home that you can reuse time and time again. And then, of course, transportation of it, because in a plastic bottle or even glass bottle or what you might use, it's not the most handy to stack and stack on top of each other. So they made this little bag of powdered cleaning materials. And in this bag, there's 1.5 liters of cleaning materials. So what you do, you bring it home, you pour it in a bottle similar to this, or an old plastic cleaning bottle, and then you can reuse that time and time again. And then you actually have 3 full bottles that will last you much longer, and it costs the same as a cleaning bottle in the supermarket. So much more efficient in terms of transport and plastic usage, because a truck full of plastic bottles takes up a lot of space, while this doesn't take up a lot of space, and there's 3 plastic bottles in this. So that's just an example of some of the cool products that we have. And yeah.
Yeah, and here in the end of the talk we have, we want to say that we started Griinbi as, you know, kind of our way to take this small step that we can for saving the future, for future generations, and do a little bit. And we are just we're just 3 very passionate, now 4 owners of this company, which have a dream of helping to change the world. And this is also the way we give other people an opportunity to actually take a small step themselves by shopping responsibly. Whoa. So, yeah, that was...
Yeah, and a key point of this is also that everyone can make a small change in their everyday life, but also take the step and work together with people that are maybe unlike you, because you can benefit a lot, both becoming wiser, but also gaining friendships. So yeah, thank you very much for your time, and if you're ever interested in sustainability and sustainable products, you can have a 15% discount code, and after this we will also do a small raffle over here for a price of some self-care products, both body wash and face care. What? Yeah, of course. And then if there are any questions, we now have the time to do that. So feel free to question us. Yeah?
Done anything with the DTU store? Looked at any of their products?
No.
No?
That would be next step.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Do you mean the library in here? Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah? Nice. Yeah.
How do you exactly choose which partners to work with? Do you just like look up every company that produces something, or do you have like, I know you had the like the terms, like the questions to ask. How do you like start to look at a company?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, so as I said, our goal is to get all sustainable products in one place. So we started actually around a year ago in one category. So we started with bathroom articles. So what we did was we did a huge market research and said, okay, now we're going to try to find all products within Europe, mainly Denmark, that provides like soap and everything you need in a bathroom. And then we started from A and just went on until we found some meaningful partnerships, and we've had and have really great relations with them, and it's really cool to talk. You know, most of the providers we have are small local companies here in Denmark, which are super passionate about the environment and really love their craft and what they're doing. So it's been a very nice experience, you know, talking to them, their vision of sustainability, and having them being so willing to jump with us on this journey. But for now, we get quite a lot that actually also contact us. So now it's kind of more of a mix where we get contacted a lot, and then we look into them and see if they are fit for us.
Yeah, so part of it is also to ensure that we pick the right ones. Are of course, like many of the ones that we have, 80% are Danish companies, which ensures that we can have good communication. But like we said earlier, then we also do our own research, so we don't just believe everything that they say, but we also go in and see, okay, so we get an ingredients list, for example, or materials list, and then we see, okay, where are these ingredients coming from? Because you might say, oh, it's produced in Denmark, but if you get like all parts from all different places, then it might not make that much sense. So like we go in and look at these different things as well.
I think there was a question here.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Who is your biggest competitor? I can mention one store that's called Lux. They both have an online and physical store. They will deliver items, and they sell both food and also some items.
Yeah. I think Lux is somewhat a competitor, but more maybe not so much direct competitor. But we have a broad variety of competitors. We have companies such as Sustain and Simpelt.dk and Økofamilien. So there are a bunch of different players who have been in the market for a bit longer than us, a couple of years more. But we still felt like there was needed one place that could gather like mainly the local Danish ones, because many of these companies, they actually still have a lot of products from Asia and US and so on, and that's where we try to focus on the European and mainly the Danish market.
Yeah, and to be as transparent as we can with our customers as well. But yeah, it's as Oliver said. I mean, thousands of companies sell sustainable products. So we really try to focus on not only the selling part, but also a lot in the 12th SDG is like also promoting sustainability and learning people about it, teaching about it, and so on. Yeah.
Yes.
So, do you find that your approach with the diversity in the team is okay when you are finding partners to negotiate?
Yeah. Yeah, so what's being asked is if the diversity in our team has helped us understand and find partners. I think definitely to some extent that we have this understanding of the different diverse nationalities and approaches to everything. For example, from Spain and Romania and Slovakia, there are different approaches to everything. And I think understanding that helps us understand, okay, how might these people work within sustainability? Like, how are they thinking? when they are producing this product. Like, for example, the Nui sisters, they were extremely focused on their product and had, like, without really realizing up until a couple of months ago, where they built their own, like, proper website, then they just were so focused on, we want to make a difference for sustainability, that they hadn't even thought about, like, making a well-working website and doing marketing. So that was, like, a really cool product and very niche that we went out and found. And I think understanding the diversity and understanding them, that really made us able to work with them extremely well.
But I think in addition to that, also the diversity in the team really help us get through all the tasks we have. We, like, in the beginning, like, all of us were in on every decision. Everyone was sitting and discussing and back and forth. But once you start to grow a little bit, there are so many different things. And we're also very good at knowing, okay, when do we actually need to take something everyone, or when do we need to split it out and have our own responsibility. So I think particularly on the branding side, for example, or finding new providers and partnerships, Oliver is mostly in on it, and then he comes back with someone, and then we analyze it together and takes it through the whole process, if it makes sense. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah, I have a business-related question. Like, what's your income source, or where does it?
Yeah, that's a good question. We have, like, a commission-based deal. So every time we sell a product, we simply take a commission from the sale. Yeah. So yeah, that's how we mainly make money. Yep.
I was interested in what you said about what you imagine it would be to set your own enterprise. And I was thinking, like, at the beginning of the year, how do you set the goals that you're going to have? And how do you measure at the end of the year, okay, we did good, we did do that this well, like, more like the sustainability of your own business. How do you measure that?
Okay. Yeah. So what we do in our business is we each month we have a meeting and we set up goals. So we have both, like, long-term milestones, and then we split that into sub goals. And then we also have monthly goals and weekly tasks and so on. So we make sure that at all times we're on track, so we can measure in that way. So the goal could be, okay, we want this week we want to onboard a new partnership, for example, and then that's the way we measure it. I would say.
Yeah, but it has definitely changed from what you asked, like, in the beginning, how it was in the beginning to how it is now. I think especially Alfonso was extremely enthusiastic and maybe a bit overachieving when he said that in the first year we're going to sell more than 500,000 Danish kroner. And I mean, that is very optimistic, because none of us had been any entrepreneurial anything before. But then, I mean, we made it some part of the way, but not all the way. But I think it's good to set high goals and then, yeah, shoot for the moon, and then you might reach a star, or whatever Elon Musk said.
But yeah, we're also very data driven. So I mean, of course, we have, like, a lot of hypotheses which we set up before we do something, and kind of like an experiment, right? And we look at the data and say, okay, does it actually match what we set up here? And we can also track a lot. How many visitors are in the website, and what are they looking at? Are they adding things to the cart, and so on? So we have a lot of different things we can actually measure on. As in terms of how well we're doing, and are we growing, and are we actually doing the right thing right now, and so on.
Yeah, because it can't all be measured in, like, economic growth and partnership growth. So I mean, we have a bunch of KPIs that we are following, and it can be anything by, like, doing good events. Like, we have gone out with the team picking up trash both on the streets and in the canals of Copenhagen with a collaboration with Green Kayak. And then we've also done other good projects, and we donate a part 5% of our revenues. So we try to measure it in not only economic things, but also how much good have we done. So yeah.
Because I specialize in service, and I'm really interested on, for example, on Malta, when we were talking about the branding, so how do you connect with the people who are buying the products? And I am guessing, this is my guess, but I don't know, that maybe in this phase of the business, probably the people who are buying are people who are already looking for sustainable options. But of course, the sustainability for the start is more like thinking about changing how people view the way they live, the way they consume, the way they eat. So how do you connect with the users? Is it through social media, or do you find ways to get feedback from them or see what you did say that you did research after this?
Yeah. That's a good question, and the question is that how we connect with our audience and so on. And it's actually quite funny, because in the beginning it was very difficult for us to, because we were ambitious, we wanted to make an English language on the website and communicate everything in English, because we were like, we're gonna be international pretty soon. And that we quickly realized that, okay, our main audience is the Danish market and Danish people, so let's start with that. So now we have the website in Danish, and then you can translate it with Google Translate if you need to. And then our social media channels are run both in Danish and English.
To get back to also trying to answer it, is that we of course connect with them through our social media streams, but a lot of what we do is actually also going out to events. So we've been out at Basecamp Lyngby, for example. We've been in Liv i Lyngby, which is a festival that was here in Lyngby, where we have a little booth, and we have a lot of sample products and a lot of different things, and we just go out and talk to them. So I think we have both that organic strategy, and then we of course also do marketing, which is targeted towards a more specific segment. So if that answers the question. Yeah.
I have an addition actually, because we've discovered that it's immensely difficult to get people to interact with your website and actually get them to stay interested in the text you've put out and browse around, see what is this company actually about, because people have such short attention span when they're on their phone, on their computer. I mean, it's really, really difficult to actually get the attention of the end user and get them to be committed to what you're doing. So, as Oscar said, we've had the most success with going out and talking to people, but we're in the process right now of figuring out how do we actually convey what we can convey when we meet people. How do we convey that on the website and try to connect to the end user in an efficient way? How do we get their attention and get them to read about our company?
So we are way off track. We have a topic right now. The topic is diversity and sustainability of business. So please direct any questions regarding this towards them afterwards. So it's just to stay on the topic. Regarding the topic, so I know that sustainable products are difficult or strange. You need to change habits, like the shampoo bar or the cleaning product and stuff like that. So how do you convert people to change their habits?
Okay, so the question is how we convert people to change habits.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about it?
I mean, of course, a lot of it is showing people that there are these options, and then a big part of it is also showing how easy it actually is to make these changes that might be really small for you, but might have a huge impact on the environment. So showcasing it and showing how to do it, and then for some more logically thinking people, telling them that, because a lot of people have this idea that sustainability equals more expensive things. And it's actually not always that way. Like, for example, this product, it costs the same as plastic use, plastic bottles full of cleaning materials that you only use once and then throw it out. So many of these things actually end up saving you a lot of money, especially the last swaps and the cotton pads and so on, because you can use them time and time again.
Yeah, and to add to that further, like, so there's of course sometimes the economic incentive, you know, withhold people from actually transition into being more sustainable and so on. But we also try to showcase maybe how easy it is through our social media, make like small videos, for example, we have compostable coffee capsules, how easy it actually is to just, you know, throw it in the green bin, or even in your garden you could do that out in the compost. So that's one thing we do. Another thing we do is also, as we said, showing up and having a booth with a lot of sample products, because sometimes you don't want to go out and spend money if you're not really sure, and okay, how difficult is this or how easy it is. So maybe a lot of times we give out small shampoo bars, small conditioner bars in a sample version. You can go home and try how easy it actually is. And that's also a way we're trying to spread awareness of this. So sometimes we actually not even have, like, we're actually happy with people just taking these shampoo bars home and trying it, because then maybe they'll go out and buy it maybe at our place, but at least they might go out and buy it another place, and that's a win for us as well. So yeah.
Yes.
I know there's a lot of bias towards sustainability, that it's a lesser product, that it's not as good quality, or I don't know what I'm getting, and someone has a bad experience or something. So how do you deal with this?
Informing. We also, the question is how we ensure quality of the products, because a lot of people are biased that it might be a not as good product as the equal current existing product. So yeah, what we do is we try to inform people, and we do that on our social media channels, and we go out and, of course, all of the products that we have, we've tested ourselves. So we also make sure we have some products that we took in, found out, okay, this product wasn't good enough, and then we took it off the website. So we feel like besides the sustainability parameters that are the highest importance for us, we also test the products ourselves and feel like if we want to use these products, then some other people can take advantage of that too.
And luckily, it often, you know, having very good ingredients and very nice stuff in your products, which happens to be good for the environment, often also entail a very high-end product. So, I mean, a lot of the products are actually very high quality compared to the alternative, right? Because it's not mass-produced. It is produced by small manufacturers, which have like a high, you know, they have a great passion for not only sustainability but also their craft. I mean, you know, they love, for example, to produce soap, and it's their whole life, right? And so they're also very cool products of very high quality. But some products also have a very high social proof, as you could say. For example, Last Swap, they've been in Løvens Hule, Lion's Den, I think it's called in English, and so on. So, I mean, some products, of course, just have a high social proof and a good quality. Yeah.
And to add to that, in Denmark, luckily, and in the European Union, we have some very strict laws on consumer goods. And because the products are produced here locally, they need to abide by those laws. But we could have gone out and we could have said, okay, we want to import this from China. Or a random country, let's just say X country with poor regulation around the production of consumer goods. We could have gone out and we could have said, we'll buy from here, we don't care. They could put anything in these products and then just ship them in and sell them to our consumers. But luckily, most of our goods are, well, produced under very strict regulation. So, I mean, that's the first barrier. There's very strict regulation when producing, especially things that you need to put on your body or consume. Yeah.
Any struggles with supply of, as you say, there's small businesses, and now maybe with more people buying and wanting to do things.
Not yet. I mean, that could of course happen, but and we have ways of counteracting that. I mean, if we run out of stock, you can't buy it. So I mean, but for sure, I mean, if everyone in Denmark used our website, we would not be able to handle that pressure, and I think they wouldn't either. So that's of course a trade-off, right? Because as you say, it's not mass-produced. It is.
Small scale.
A small scale and a limited workforce they have out in their small companies and so on. So not yet, and hopefully we won't experience that.
Yes, yeah, you can buy these ones, and we have them for kitchen, bathroom, and universal cleaning.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you to Griinbi for joining us and telling about their diversity in the group and how they work. So right now we will cut the live stream feed and say thank you very much for joining. Also, please go to Small Steps DTU and read more about how we work with sustainability. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.